And our next question is from David from Eagle Rock. David, go ahead.
Yes, Congressman Becerra, it's a delight to talk to you. I just wanted to say that I think you're a wonderfully progressive congressman, and it's so great to have a progressive congressman when the rest of the world suffers with Tea Party congressmen. So kudos to you. My question is everybody's asking about the debt ceiling. I know that's really important, but I'm really concerned about, it's kind of a civics question. I'm concerned about the balance of power in our federal government, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. I think the Supreme Court has really taken a little bit too much power. I think that them making rulings and basically making laws is stepping into the area of the Congress. For instance, how do they get the right to say that corporations should be treated like people? And where do they get the right to say that unlimited money can come into politics? Furthermore, we have judges who have these terrible conflicts of interest, like Justice Thomas's wife. And it's really appalling to me, and I wanted to get your feeling about that and just see if you had any ideas about what could be done in the Congress to address these issues, because I really feel like we have 5 monarchs sitting there in black robes who really are taken over by big business, just the way the Tea Party and the right wing of the Republican Party in Congress is taken over, and we people out here don't really have a voice. So do you have any thoughts on that?
I do, and David, it's a great question. Although I will tell you that while I agree with the spirit of what you've said about the Supreme Court, in practice, I actually think I fall on the opposite side. I actually believe that what we're seeing is the removal of the mask on conservatives who say that the Supreme Court should not be an activist, so-called activist court, that it should just interpret the Constitution and do nothing more. Clearly, this conservative court is doing more than just interpreting the Constitution. As you pointed out, when the Supreme Court says that not only is a corporation just the same as a human being, but can also spend indefinite amount of money and need not have to declare it or publicly announce what it did with it, I think that has gone way beyond. And so you have a court that's using its power to interpret law. But this is perhaps where I differ with you. I believe that the more that we have openness and disclosure, the better off we are as a people. And that's why the First Amendment, I think, is this wonderful creation by the Founding Fathers that says, too much power is bad. But if you have information and ability to act on information, usually you can trump that power in a democracy. And so while I fear what this conservative court is doing with these 5-4 rulings and giving so much power to those who are wealthy, whether corporate or otherwise, I would rather that we be able to examine under the light of day what the court is doing and then act, because you have the ability through the Congress to pass a law to address or remedy what the Supreme Court has done. And rather than shackle the court, because if I'm willing to shackle the court that's conservative, then I give license to conservatives to shackle a court that might be progressive in the future. And so I'd rather give the Supreme Court the ability to interpret the Constitution based on what we live today, but know that it's under scrutiny and can be tested by a Congress and a president to make sure that it doesn't go overboard. Unfortunately, right now, I do think the Supreme Court has gone overboard. But I have faith in our country, and that's why, again, I feel so privileged to be a member of Congress that you all give me this opportunity, because I get to sort of live and breathe what I'm talking about and what the Constitution is about. And so, David, in the way I look at it, I would want to prove to the American public what the Supreme Court is doing is damaging our democracy by giving corporations so much influence to essentially buy politicians. But I'd rather us undo what the Supreme Court has done than stop the Supreme Court from doing taking those kinds of actions. Who knows, if we had shackled the Supreme Court back in 1954, we may have had Brown versus Board of Education, which finally said to us in America that separate is not equal when it comes to educating our kids. And so, great question, David, and I hope you understand what I was trying to say.